Could you survive in these surprising survival situations?
Let's talk about that.
Good mythical morning.
I am a survivor. One time recently on a weekend, my wife went away with some friends of hers and I had to keep my kids and I survived. And so did they. We both made it. It was surprisingly difficult, but we did it. So I'm hoping that story I just told you will rival the surprising survival stories that we are going to share with you today, even though I know it's not.
You can relate to these people.
I can relate.
And I'm wearing camouflage.
We're all survivors.
We talked earlier this year in another episode about surprising survival stories on islands. These are non-island
We're
survival
off the
stories.
island now.
Yeah, we're moving to the mainland, people.
But these are surprising.
They're very surprising, Link. May 26, 2013, a guy named Harrison Okene, he's a 29-year-old cook working on a tugboat off the coast of Nigeria.
Pulling other boats. He's cooking.
He's minding his own business and doing his own business, taking a crap in the loo on the boat. He's in the bathroom when it gets struck by a huge wave which causes the boat to sink, and the boat sinks very suddenly, like 100 feet before anybody has a chance to react. He begins to see that first of all, he gets out of the bathroom and gets into another little room. He begins to see water coming underneath the door. He's like, he knows what's going on. The boat has turned upside down.
Can you imagine the panic?
And so what he does is he thinks fast and he gets on top of a mattress.
I usually crawl under a bed when I panic.
He makes himself a waterbed, Link. He made a waterbed, and he's on the waterbed.
Doesn't seem like that's gonna help.
Well, it did
when
help
you're sinking.
because he stayed in a 4-foot pocket of air for 62 hours. Now, there's a lot of things that went on during that 62 hours. Number one, all of his other crewmates died somewhere early in the process.
What's the air situation? That's what I'm not understanding.
The air situation.
How's he breathing?
He's breathing the oxygen that's trapped, and because of the pressure at that depth, you actually get a lot more oxygen in there. So 62 hours.
Like the boat's upside down.
Yeah, it's an air pocket.
Okay.
It's like when you get into the jacuzzi and there's an air pocket,
and
it makes you look like you've got a lot of fat down here, then you're like, and then it looks like you farted. He's inside the fat pocket in a bathing suit.
Why is Rhett pushing on his pants?
Do you understand the logic now?
Now that you've used that analogy,
So he's inside
a
pair of swimming trunks in a jacuzzi. That's where this is going now.
I get it.
He's in this air pocket. He's breathing this highly concentrated, highly oxygenated air. His other crewmates have died. He can hear them being eaten by fish and sharks.
Ooh.
He has nothing to eat except one can of Coke. This guy stretches that can of Coke for 62 hours.
It's like me finding the Sprite in the ice bath. It's like, I can survive in here
It's
now.
not that funny.
Oh. Yeah.
And then this is what happens after 62 hours.
Right, so you should be walking on the ceiling.
Scuba rescuers.
Okay. What's that? Okay. That's horrible. All right, you found one, yeah? He's alive. He's alive. Okay, keep him there. Keep him there. All right. Just keep him there and keep him calm. Okay.
Whoa.
All right. Just reassure him. Pat him on the shoulder.
Pat him on the shoulder.
Pat him on the
Oh,
shoulder.
look, there he is. There's Harrison. He's like, oh, you're not a can of Coke. You're
he looks
a man.
little disoriented. Now, I'm surprised that the diver who rescued him didn't freak out, but I'm more surprised that he didn't freak out. Like, what did he think was grabbing his hand over there? Some black suited creature that comes up?
I mean, this guy's been through a lot in that 62 hours, and you could see the guy thought he was just grabbing a dead body, and then it grabbed back. So the diver was freaking out. And the reason the diver sounds like a chipmunk is because they put helium inside their breathing mixture. There's a little tidbit that I learned during this process.
Okay.
Anyway, Harrison is now the official spokesman for Coca-Cola. And their new 62-hour Coke campaign.
Okay, I got one. Mario Prosperi is a Sicilian policeman and a pentathlete. And he ran, in 1994, he ran in the Marathon des Sables, or Sable, a 150-mile race across the Sahara Desert in Morocco.
Sign me up.
150 miles across the desert. Sounds crazy. It's so dangerous.
It is crazy.
They make you sign a waiver that says where to send your body when you die.
I want to be cremated and put in the Cape Fear River.
All right, here's one of the rules. If a sandstorm comes up while you're running this 150 miles across the desert, you're supposed to sit down, cover your head, and wait it out. Unless you want to win the race.
That's right.
Mario decides he is going to keep running. Because a sandstorm did hit, and he kept running and running and running. You can't see very well in a sandstorm.
No.
6 hours later,
because of the whole Darude part.
The sandstorm
Darude gets in your eyes.
It's the rudest of sandstorms. 6 hours later, storm dies down. Mario, of course, is alone in the middle of the Saharan desert, completely off course. What's the dude supposed to do? He just picked a direction and just started walking. Random direction, starts walking. 36 hours later,
that's a long time.
He completely runs out of food and water. Now, I'm going to go ahead and spoil this for you. A, he survives.
Oh.
But B, it was 10 days later. Dude survived in the Sahara Desert totally alone with nothing but like a water bottle for 10 days.
He's a Sicilian.
First thing he started doing was peeing in the water bottle. And then drinking that.
Oh, wow.
But that gets old after a while.
That happened early.
There's a diminishing returns type of thing on peeing in your own water bottle.
You mean it gets worse? It gets more yellow.
It's more yellow, and there's less and less of it every time.
And then it becomes like yellow pudding.
He starts eating. All of a sudden, I've got a pudding mirage in my water bottle. He starts eating lizards and scorpions, which I do not recommend. Very crunchy, not a lot of water in those. So then he finds an abandoned shrine in the desert, camps out there, and he rips the heads off of 20 bats and starts drinking the blood out of them.
Oh, better than pudding.
I don't know if I could do that.
Well, you haven't been in this situation, man.
Like, no ideas. Next week on this show, I do not want to have to rip the head off a bat.
Yeah.
Like, their
head eating challenge.
Their faces are lighting up.
Let's start that.
Off the screen. So after a total of 10 days, he comes across a group of Berber nomads, and
very stylish.
They say, you're not even in Morocco anymore. You ran all the way to Algeria. 186 miles off course.
Gosh. That's a long way for a one person to walk.
Don't worry, though. He went ahead and ran the race 6 more times after that, coming in 12th in 2001.
Oh, 12th? Well,
Mario. Okay. Keep it up, man. Don't give up.
Keep trying.
You don't have to drink your urine every time. You could probably do better.
Okay, this one, it comes from Juliana Kupka. Back Christmas Eve, 1971. She was 17 years old. She's traveling via plane over the Peruvian rainforest.
Okay.
This is the Amazonian rainforest. I'm assuming we're in the same region of the world.
Okay.
The plane is struck by lightning, and the light is flickering, which means that maybe we're being struck by lightning.
R240.
The plane is struck by lightning. The plane breaks up into several pieces. She lands on an island. There's a polar bear, and there's this group of people called the Others. Oh, wait. That's something else. No, she lands. The plane literally does break apart, and she falls in her seat, still strapped in the seat, 2 miles through the air, and hits the canopy of the rainforest, and somehow the seats that she's attached to, she's in this middle seat and got 2 seats on each side of her. It kind of protects her, and it shortens her, it stops her fall a little bit, and she ends up kind of hanging upside down in this seat. Of course, she gets knocked out, but when she wakes up, all she's got is a broken collarbone and some scratches. Unbelievable, falls 2 miles out of the sky. Wow. Now she's got to figure out how to get back to civilization. Now, her glasses came off during this. Can you imagine that? Her glasses came off during this
glasses.
Ordeal. So she lost one shoe, so she uses her remaining shoe to feel her way through the jungle. She had a little experience in the jungle. Her parents were like researchers, so she kind of knew like, I got to watch out for these snakes. So she had like the snake shoe technique. She's feeling her way through the woods. Then she gets to a stream, and she knows this is smart because she had learned this, and you should always do this. Head downstream. She finds a stream, heads downstream. 10 days later, all she's been living off of is the water that she's drinking from the stream and some sweets that she got on the plane.
Did she use her shoe for everything? Like, I picture her drinking out of the shoe, using it as a snake thing, as a weapon.
It doesn't say, but I like to think so, Link. Yeah, she drank from her shoe exclusively and ate sweets from her shoe as well.
Right.
Anyway, 10 days into this thing, she finds a boat. Now, she's got an infected arm full of maggots. She's got maggot arm, people.
Ooh.
And she had seen her dad pour gasoline into a dog's wound before to treat it.
Okay.
So she pours the gasoline from this boat into her maggot arm, and 35 maggots come out.
Ugh.
That's just a little tidbit, a little detail for you. Instead of getting on the boat, she said, I didn't want to steal the boat. So she waits at the boat, and eventually the guys whose boat it was come back, they take her to civilization. This is an incredible ordeal, as you can imagine.
17
almost 2
years
weeks.
old.
And it's actually written about, her story is cataloged in a book called Deep Survival. It's an audiobook that you can get on Audible by Lawrence Gonzalez. It covers her story in a lot more detail, also a lot of other amazing survival stories. And it also tells you what you can do to get out of some situations that you might find yourself in.
Oh, because we haven't helped you any besides the shoe thing and ripping off bat heads. You should listen to that. And you're in luck because you can get a 30-day trial by using our link, audible.com/GMM. There are over 180,000 titles in addition to Lawrence's book, so listen to any of those, guys. Yes. Link in the description.
Thanks for liking and commenting.
You know what time it is.
Hi, my name is Khalil Arlaqi. I'm from Syria. And this is my favorite card, the Ten of Hearts. And it's time to spin the Wheel of Mythicality.
Thanks to Audible for sponsoring this episode. And remember to go to audible.com/GMM for your free 30-day trial.
Click through to Good Mythical More, where we discuss 2 more surprising survival stories. Surprise! Survive! Click through. Beatboxing Dolphins! Sounds like a monkey, but it's a dolphin. Touching the void.
So, and it's kind of
as opposed to Avoiding the Touch, which is a documentary about me and that my girlfriend made in high school.